This, by the way, is nothing compared to the global outrage. Calls for inquiries against China are increasing each day. So are the demands for reparations, for accountability. How is the dragon responding to this backlash? Like it always has, a mix of threats and rhetoric. Much of it is directed towards Africa, because Chinese money has failed to buy the silence of this continent. African nations are increasingly being wary of their dealings with Beijing. Videos of racism against African expats in China are still doing the rounds. Videos of perceived coronavirus carriers being evicted from hotels. Videos of them being barred from entering restaurants. Videos of African citizens sleeping on the streets, being kicked, being spat on, being attacked. Africa wants to sue China for such racism. A group of lawyers from Nigeria has already taken the lead. They're seeking $200 billion from Beijing. We reported this last week. Now, the demand to make China pay may soon get an official stamp in Nigeria. A Nigerian senator has moved a motion on the quote-unquote institutional discrimination against Nigerians in China. Institutional. He chose the right word to describe it. The senator's name is Benjamin Kalu. He's the spokesperson of Nigeria's House of Representatives. The senator has put up a long list of facts which influenced his decision. Let me list a few. Number one, Nigerian citizens being treated as second-rate humans, worse than dogs in China. These are his words. Number two, the senator says that Nigeria-China trade has generated $8 billion in revenue, and this should be enough to earn the respect that Nigerians deserve in China. 3. China's what he calls parasitic relationship with Nigeria. The senator says his country wants a relationship that is mutually respectful. Number 4. Senator Kalu says that Nigeria should not allow Chinese citizens in their country without an expatriate quota, something that we call a work permit. Number 5. Breach of fundamental rights of Nigerians living in China. The senator says Nigeria's Ministry of Justice will provide all financial support for Nigerian citizens who wish to seek redress for quote-unquote actionable causes. Nigeria is not the first country in Africa to set the record straight. A number of other African governments are seeking redress. They have already lodged complaints with their respective Chinese embassies. Just last month, remember, the government of Ghana had summoned the Chinese ambassador to express its disappointment. Ghana's foreign affairs minister condemned the inhumane treatment of African expats in China. So did Uganda. It summoned the Chinese ambassador last month over the harassment and mistreatment of its nationals. Then we have Kenya seeking reassurances from its Chinese ambassador. Kenya's foreign ministry issued a complaint note in April. Here's what these complaints snowballed into. The African Union, a union of 55 African nations, spoke in one voice against China. Musa Faki, the chairperson of this body, summoned the Chinese ambassador Liu Yuxi. He called out Beijing's inaction over the rampant racial discrimination in China. In fact, the outrage against China crosses continents. The reasons may differ, but the anger is similar. Kazakhstan, for instance, it summoned the Chinese ambassador a few weeks back. The Kazakh government was protesting against an article by the Chinese state media. What did the article say? It floated the idea that Kazakhstan was keen to become a part of China. It clearly wasn't. France had to summon the Chinese ambassador over Beijing's propaganda. In the month of April, the French government expressed disapproval over a Chinese diplomat's claims that France had left its older citizens to die. These are just a few of the many countries that have pulled up Chinese envoys. How many more nations will it take for China to understand that the world is just so done with its actions? China's virus has gone global, China's racism has gone global, China's propaganda has gone global. China must stop pretending to be the global leader. It does not fit the role, not by a long shot.